Hey everybody, David Alter here for Rink Toronto, presented by Bodog. Make a play at Canada's choice for free casino games, sports odds, and poker strategies, where tonight the Toronto Maple Leafs will visit the Boston Bruins right here at TD Garden. And this is going to be a battle of the heavyweights, two of the best teams in the NHL right now. Boston, the best. Toronto, second by points, third by points percentage, however you want to interpret the standings, but certainly a potential playoff preview, depending on how these teams kind of mix around. They've met one time this season. It was back in November, and it was the Toronto Maple Leafs at home getting the better of the Bruins 2-1. There's something about the better teams in the NHL where the Maple Leafs seem to be more dialed in and more ready to kind of play for battle and do whatever they got to do to get the job done. A good example of that is defeating the Colorado Avalanche 6-2 on December 31st, fresh after losing against the Arizona Coyotes. So there's been a lot of that with the Maple Leafs this season. But speaking of Arizona, Auston Matthews is going to be back in the lineup after missing 2 games. He is not going into what his injury is, but he did say that it's something he's going to have to manage or stay on top of going forward between now and the end of the season. So, you know, it's that old cliche that players are kind of dealing with something all throughout the year, and clearly that seems to be the case with Auston Matthews. And as is tradition with a lot of hockey teams, they don't want to divulge exactly what it is that's bothering him, despite speculation about what it might be. So in any event, Auston Matthews feels like he's ready to go. We did talk about his lack of production offensively this season. He's got 20 goals and 27 assists in 41 games, but that's certainly not a problem for him. He seems to be okay with the fact that the team is playing better defensively. They've only given up on average 2.6 or so goals against per game, tied a 3-way tie in the league for second best. Boston is the only team that is better in that department. Of course, Boston just had their first regulation loss here in this building the other night against the Seattle Kraken. They lost 3-0. So Boston's going to look to try and right the ship there. And Auston Matthews will be back for the Toronto Maple Leafs in terms of trying to get things back for the Toronto Maple Leafs after they lost to the Detroit Red Wings on this dad's trip. Of course, Auston Matthews' dad's here. A lot of different dads are here. This is the final one of the 3 games that they've been around for. The big story, we got the chance to talk to Bobby McMann's dad about Bobby McMann's crazy experience getting called up, and then his dad Cecil being along for the ride. Now, unfortunately for McMann and Pontus Homberg, they are both sick and they will not be in the lineup. And so that will provide a different look at the bottom 6. Wayne Simmonds will play in back-to-back games for the first time since October. And Alex Kerfoot will move to play center on the 4th line in Holmberg's place with him out. So those will be some of the changes. Also, Dryden Hunt comes back into the lineup after he missed the last game. So no McMann, no Homberg. Matt Murray will get the start in goal against the Boston Bruins. And like I said, potential playoff preview. When they look at the 1A and the 1B, this is the game Matt Murray's going to be kind of judged on to see if he can be that guy when the Maple Leafs have to ultimately decide before the playoffs who their starting goaltender is. So should be an excellent preview between 2 heavyweights in the NHL. Myself and Rob Wong will have your post-game show. Make sure you rate and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms to Rink Toronto, presented by Bodog, Canada's home for casino games and sports odds, where everyone goes to play. Rink Toronto, pre-game, post-game, every game.